So I've got this patch piece all bolted on here. And I've got the gasket in, and you can see how it's in the right place there, but I don't really like how it is here because it kind of sticks out past the gasket. And then right about there, it starts to go back inside the gasket. So I'm just rearranging this a little bit. I don't know if I can set the camera up. There goes my dolly, so you can watch. Try. I don't know where my a camera mount. Let's go for a little wander here. There it is. Here's my camera mount, or my phone mount. So, oh, sure. See that? Perfect. So I'm just gonna go into the pit. And I'm gonna hold this dolly in behind here and strike it along here and see if I can't knock that back in a bit. Suppose I should be a good boy and stop looking over the top of my glasses. Put some safety glasses on. This all has to bend out a bit more than it is too. Just going to sharpen up this corner. deal with tipping that out after. Actually starting to put a bit of a lip on there. I don't want a lip. Pull it off the car. Okay, that's good enough for that for now. I'll have to pull it off and fix that up a bit better. You see what it did there. I wasn't quite able to hammer right on the corner, so there's a step. There's a lip there now. But I'll pull it off now and then I can get that fixed up. Okay, here I am using the shoemaker's anvil again. So it's got this nice curve, nicely, it doesn't perfectly match that, but it's, right here it does. So, just cleaning up this edge now that I reworked it on the car. And I'm a little concerned that it's going to alter the shape of the part overall. As far as fitment goes on the car. So I'm trying not to stretch the metal too much and kind of planishing it out. Getting rid of that lip. I'm pretty sure it is going to alter the shape of the part. Just have to deal with that as we go. I really like the look of this piece. It's kind of a shame that nobody's ever going to see it. Well, you're seeing it. But, once it's on the car, it's going to be invisible. it a try now. I gotta plug my phone in for a bit. Did some more work on this piece off camera, and now I'm happy with the way it fits. I run my thumb down here and that's not my thumb. This is my thumb. Run my finger down here and it feels consistent all the way down. So I don't know if you can see on camera, but see right there, I guess. There's sort of a chewed up, like a line. So this is actually, back up here a bit. This is actually moved out. So what's happened is I've taken material from this plane here where it bolts on, and I've moved it to this plane. So I moved the corner. I moved the corner of this panel that way, I guess. Yeah, that way. So where the corner was is not right on that line. That line is where my my hammer was hitting, and it was more toward the gasket. So it was right up against that gasket, more or less, is where my hammer blows, where the round edge of the hammer was hitting right on this line. So you can see how much it's moved over. So anyways, it's fitting nicely now. I like it. So I'm going to put the fender on again and see how that goes. All right, so I got the fender on here, and you can see the gasket sticks out there, and then that right about there, I think, is where the patch starts. So it starts to come out here a little bit. So I don't know, you can just see that it looks red. Actually, it was a blue marker, but it's kind of weird. So you can see that faint line there. So this whole area, the patch is bent out this way too much. So I've got to go in there and I'll take the fender off and just kind of make it roundish. It's kind of sticking out straight, flat. So if I roll it in a bit, round it in, this will be able to go down here, and so it starts to fit again really good here. See that? And then it's just being held up here by the patch panel in this area. So I'll just roll that in a little bit, dolly it in, and should get this to fit nice. To get this to roll in, I'm just going to hold this combination dolly here. So that, see, that has a nice, depending on how you hold it, see it's got a good fit to that curve. So I'm just going to hold it back from the edge a little bit. And I've gone inside the fender. And see those marks? So from where that mark is there, this whole area down to that mark needs to be rolled in quite a bit, and I'm going to taper it out to here, because above and below that it was fitting fairly nicely. So I think the reason why this tightens up here is because the car body, that's at its widest point right there, and so the fender, it doesn't have to return as much to the body, right? So this is more straight back here, which totally makes sense. Right now I've got it pretty uniform, and I realized there were some tighter bends on this thing, but you know, fitting the fender just tells you where you gotta work it. I'm really happy with the way this is fitting now. I did that little bit of dolly work there, and you can see how there's a consistent, it's very consistent, the fit to the gasket. It is a little bit high, but of course this is laying on top of the patch right now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, actually, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go have some lunch because I'm hungry. But I'm going to drill, after lunch, I'm going to drill probably, I don't know, maybe 4 holes in this and Cleco the fender onto the patch. And then I'm going to trim the fender out in between the Clecos, leave the Cleco tabs there. Then I'm going to start welding it. Then I'll cut the tabs out. Of course, I'm going to do all this. I'm going to tack it all together on the car. But I gotta get it located first. So, anyways, my plan may change once I start doing it, but that's my plan right now. After lunch, of course. So I end up putting 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Clecos. And when I was drilling this one here, there's a little bit of a gap between the 2 parts. All the rest of them were touching, so that's good. I mean, I kind of expected that there would be a gap on some of them, but just the one. So anyways, I'm gonna take this all apart and pull the fender off the car, do some cutting on the fender, and then I'll reassemble it back onto the car and start tacking it up. Here it is with the fender trimmed and Clecoed back into place. Worked out really well. I thought I'd trim this off too short, but it's perfect. So it was actually a little bit too long. I had to trim off a little bit of that. There's a little split there I put in it because I was actually at one point I was overlapping it into there, like sliding this into there when I was fitting it. And you can see where I said there's a gap. So there's a gap here. But I think once I get this trimmed to butt, I'm going to butt weld this. This will, I'll just tack it right about there, and then when I cut all this away, that'll move out, and I think it'll fit nice. So I'm just going to go ahead and scribe the patch now, and then I'll trim it off to fit, and I'll be back. Just thought I'd better try this on the car one more time before I do the grinding on the fender to clean it up, to get it ready for welding. So yeah, you can see how well this is fitting all along here. So, you know, it's kind of an overlap mode right now, but it's very, you know, it's really a good fit. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this back off. You can see there's the gap there I was telling you about earlier. But I think what I need to do actually is I need to slot these holes a little bit on the Clecos so I can let it kind of slide ahead a little bit, maybe. I don't know. I'm just a little worried that if I if I tack weld it here between, that I'm going to end up with kind of a puckering. But I guess I can always cut the spot welds after and just as I go down, if that starts to become a problem. I think I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm overthinking it. I'm just gonna go ahead and clean this up and start tacking it together. Okay, I got the fender fitting really well. The most part, this gap's really good all the way up here. This is where the gap was tight. I did grind it a bit, but I didn't quite get it ground down enough. So what I'm doing is I'm just pulling this hacksaw blade through here, just to kind of file off the edge of it, because I don't want to take the fender off again. So when I push it in, and then I put my finger on it and put a little pressure on. If I moved the camera out of the way, you could see what I'm doing, or my finger out of the way of the camera. So on the way in, I just let the panel float, and then when I'm pulling it out, cut stroke, I'll just put a little pressure on the fender, and then it removes more material. So I'm just going to keep doing this until it fits good. So I just went in with the zip disc, kind of like this. Not straight in, but at an angle so it kind of overlaps. I'm sorry. Just went in at an angle like this. Not straight in like that, but sort of at a 45 to the panel. So it's a little wider gap than the rest of it. It's kind of sloppy there, but it just gives the panel. It's all gone down, flush. It's all flushed out here, so that's good. Okay, got this all tacked together. That is awesome. It just worked. All that preparation on that patch totally paid off right now. So this is all tacked up. I don't anticipate any problems with the welding, finished welding. One thing about this, because it's rounded, it's going to come this way if it expands at all, and that's okay. It's I don't think it's gonna come to a peak or anything. It's just it's not a flat area, so it's very forgiving when you go to weld this kind of thing. At least I find in my experience, because it's always trying to go out. So anyways, this is awesome. It's just you just have to trim this back here where this overlap is. I'll do that. I'll get it off the car to do that, and then yeah, it all worked out really well.